what exactly is the reason for a child to know more about the importance of speaking and the importance of communication. So, in the next few minutes, we're going to understand what exactly is the tenets or what are the path to speaking. But before that, Speakology is the art of effective public speaking. And this is the key thing in terms of how one speaks in public or even in one-to-one communications is something that Speakology is all about. We normally begin with fear and move to impact. And there are various stages in between. Even when you do one-to-one communications, when I say one-to-one is, person to person or child to child, etc. We normally begin with a sense of fear and then, move on to various other structured ways of speaking before you go on to really create an impact in the audience. In order for any child, teenager, young adult to become a good leader, communication is the key to success. If whether you're a lawyer or a doctor, an engineer, or a geologist, any field in the world, you can take it. Communication is something which always rules the roost. And I do these workshops at various places in India, leadership workshops for corporates. And communication is one thing they always stress on. It's always there as a lacunae, and there's no dearth to communication. And communication is not just about speaking, it's also about listening. The way you listen, the way you speak, the harmony in which you speak plays a very critical role in terms of the voice that you create. Let me tell you something about my own personal story. And this is me. I was born and brought up in Pune. The buildings that you see behind is the buildings in a city called Pune. And I'm a Keralite, born and brought up in Pune. And if you notice, I practiced social distancing, right then, many couple of decades earlier. And I was born as a very shy boy, extremely shy boy with a lot of confusion around me, a lot of doubt that was there in me. I was not a very confident person, in my childhood, and it comes as a kind of a paradox that today I'm running this particular session on Speakology, which is the art of effective public speaking. So I was born as a very extremely shy boy, could not talk much, and it remained like this for many years. It's only the last 10 years or so that I have come into into the forum of public speaking. So this was the mode. I could hardly speak. I was confused. I was extremely in doubt, and that's the reason of my mission. And my mission actually is to ensure and help that 1 million children across India are able to communicate with impact before 2025. And the key here is with impact. It's not just communication, it's communication with a lot of impact around it. And the younger one starts, the better it is. The younger one starts, the better it is. I started my journey very late and I suffered quite a bit, and which is why I have this particular mission of trying to start really, really young. Let's look at some of the speeches, that I've done, and you'll see a flow in terms of the way participants. So this is a participant who's come to my live session. So I used to do live sessions in person where I have my offices, and this is a speech on my best vacation.
Hello everybody, I'm Darshika and I'm here to speak about my best vacation. Vacations are something we always enjoy and always look forward to. They break the monotony of our daily routine and help us feel rejuvenated. All of us must have gone on many vacations, but we always have that one vacation that we always cherish and love. Well, I do have one such vacation. We all know that summers is the time when we go on a long break to some place to enjoy. Last year, I went on a trip to few of the European countries and states. We visited many places like Switzerland, Italy, Paris, Florence, Capri, etc. It was a really fun experience as I went to a different continent with different people and cultures. We visited many wonders of the world, including the Colosseum and the Eiffel Tower. It was a new experience as I could meet different kinds of people and I tried many different cuisines. Overall, the whole experience was really amazing. But the best part that I liked about the tour was our stay in Switzerland. Switzerland with beautiful sceneries, the lush green fields, the high-rise mountains. Oh, I was on cloud 9. The weather over there was really pleasant and I felt as though I was in paradise. Overall, it was a really relaxing experience and I really enjoyed my sales visit. Thank you.
So this is somebody who came in at the start with not a very clear way of speaking, but as you see now, the speeches, they have an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. And this is what is the first path in terms of success. So success is all about communication, and communication in a very real sense, because I'd like to emphasize that unless one has confidence in the way one communicates, it can be any language, there has to be a real gain in the way you speak and you communicate. You can also, the child can also crack interviews, bag scholarships, and become a future leader. And this is the aim and the goal of Speakology, to try to enable one to become a very strong future leader. I'd like to give you a small formula which is mentioned by T. Harvekar, and it's in his best-selling book. And he mentions 20% is what you do, 20% is what you do, and the balance 80% is how you communicate what you do. Very interesting. 20% is what you do, but 80% is really how you communicate what you do. And when you say communicate, it's not just words, it's also the voice tone, the softness or the lack of it. The way you really communicate it across can make or break the entire whatever you're doing in your life. So, in that sense, I see a lot of schools and colleges in India, they only focus on that 20%, which is really what you do, but they don't focus on the communication portion. How does a child really communicate? How does he or she talk? And the way they do it, it's a very structured way. Speaking is an acquired skill, and I tell it out of my own experience. I personally was never a good speaker. It's only in the last few years that I have personally come up with a roadmap on how to speak well, and this is why I'm imparting it to all of you, children as well as the parents. So it's all moving from fear to confidence, and then there's something called as presence. Presence is, the persona as you come on the stage, or on the podium, the way you present yourself, it carries a vibration. IBC is something called as introduction, body, conclusion, and then there is a flow to the speech. The way one speaks, there has to be a flow, which is why people love songs, because songs have a flow to it. It could be a Russian song or a Chinese song or an Indian song, but if the tune is good and the flow is good, we tend to listen to it. So the flow in a speech is extremely important. Even the way one speaks should be, in some sense, like a song like. The voice, the way one raises the voice, drops the voice, at the right moment, without any sharpness into it, without carrying any emotion into it, is the next important point. Body language is another very important point which can really make it. And okay, I'll be speaking louder. So body language is something which is extremely important in what you say and speak, and the body language can kind of again make or break what you say around you. Stillness, the way one is still in what you speak and say, is again extremely important. Silence and pause. What are the pauses that you have as you speak? Empathy, and finally is impact. So this is the journey that we have, moving from fear all the way to impact through a roadmap of IBC, flow, voice, stillness, silence, and then finally impact. So let's see another participant speech.
Favorite teacher. Teachers are there to help you throughout, but there's one teacher that helps you, that motivates you, and is always with you. My favorite teacher is Tripti ma'am. I still remember the day one when I came to Hyderabad and I went to school. She was the only teacher which supported me. I had ICSE books in science and I did not know what to do. It was so hard for me to study that I was on the verge of crying. But she helped me out throughout the science period, telling me to do it step by step and just continue moving forward without taking pressure. She will always be that one teacher in my life who will keep on inspiring me and motivating me the entire life. Thank you.
So this is another participant speech, and everything that we train children on is from the secrets of Toastmasters. And I personally have been the president there, and also an advanced communicator bronze, which means I've completed close to 30 projects. The projects again start from ice breaking and all the way it goes, very complicated projects. I have won multiple table topics in Kerala, and also a winner at the international speech contest at the regional level. And finally, I'm the creator of this particular platform called Speakology, which is a platform of effective public speaking. So I have an online course in Udemy, a complete package of 18 lectures, 5 weeks, and it runs with a lot of resources. It's running in Udemy for last many months. So a couple of quotes, 90% of how well the talk will go is determined before the speaker steps on the platform. And this is something which is called as presence. The presence of the person before he steps up and starts to speak is already determined by the audience. The most precious things in speech are the pauses. And you should remember, the way you pause is extremely important, more important than the actual speeches. And in presentations of speeches, less really is more. It should be very concise. It should not be rambling, not going all around the place. It should be extremely concise and to the point. A relaxed mind is extremely important to have a clarity in terms of direction and clarity in terms of speech. So it's important to have a contemplation, a focus, as you start to speak. And normally I recommend a sense of relaxation and meditation before one starts to speak, to ensure that there is a flow in the way one speaks. So here what we are mentioning is a 4-week online course which will be run on 8 virtual group sessions on Zoom. Exactly like how we are seeing it here. We'll be seeing multiple sessions on Zoom, which is run through the similar platform, and then what we have is home. Yeah, we'll have chats in between, and we creating a private WhatsApp group, chats for clarifications, as well as access to my entire set of Udemy videos. The entire set of Udemy videos is available on Access, and access to keynote resources, which are part of the particular model that is there. So these are the few sessions that I'm planning to do. Starting on Friday, 8 virtual group sessions on Zoom. Homework in between, chats, access to videos, and keynote resources. So So this is another participant speech. You can go through.
People get angry because of many reasons. That may be due to frustration, depression, or tiredness. Some people get angry on really small things, whereas some don't get angry at all. I get angry when I'm tired or irritated. And also when someone talks rudely to me, I feel bad and I also get angry. When I get angry, I either start crying and lock myself up in a room, or I start shouting at everyone and I start throwing the things around. I feel that it's perfectly fine to get angry and let go of your frustration, but you should take care that you don't harm anyone or cause trouble.
So again, it follows the principle of IBC. This is a small testimony by an 8-year-old girl.
I thoroughly enjoyed Deepak sir's classes. They have given me the confidence to speak boldly. The practice sessions, the body language suggestions, the 1-minute speech exercises have all trained me to come to a positive approach towards public speaking and presentations. Thank you so much, sir.
So this is another student who has come live. And in the last few weeks, I've been running these live sessions on Zoom, and you'll see a couple of examples
Got
of that.
Many medals, certificates, and I guess people got to know that I'm good in running. So, and after this, I've gone to many tournaments, yeah. And to conclude this, I would say that everything starts by a motivation at the start. So, if you have to start something, you need motivation and some push up from the behind so that you can get to what you want.
So this is the elder category, which is 13 and 14 plus. And I have a very small category starting from 7 to 12.
Me, thank you, sir.
Good. I think that was really good. Now you're coming into it. Okay. So we'll go to the next one. Who wants to go next? Sanaya? Go for it, Sanaya.
What am I? Good morning everyone. My name is Sanaya. I'm going to tell you all what am I good at. I am good at logical thinking. I participated in a logic quiz exam and I was 7th rank holder. Second thing I am good at. I am good at art and craft. I can make anything with art and craft, but first I could learn it. The third thing I am good at. I am good at sports. I could cycle fast and run too. I participated in a skating competition and got a medal of second prize.
So, like this, we run sessions with even very small children. All the parents need to do is to have a Zoom and, put the child in front of the Zoom with audio and video. And with a lot of tips, we run this particular session. So there are 2 age categories, 8 virtual group sessions with 2 different age categories, the smaller age category and the higher age category, which is 13, 14 plus for the more different kind of topics and, a more advanced way. And normally the sessions, if you look at it, even if I put 8, group sessions at kind of pricing of 40,000 INR, and we have chats for clarifications and also access to my entire set of Udemy videos resources. It's retailing at 9999, which is close to 10,000. So the entire package of this particular 4-week online course, the value of it comes to 55,000. And I'll again repeat it. It's 8 virtual group sessions, chats for clarifications, access to entire set of Speakology Udemy videos, exactly as you saw it. And the entire package is 55, but I'm actually giving a huge discount for those of you who are registering today. It's really not 55. I'm dropping it down. It's also not 40. It's also not 30. It's also not 10. And it's also not 5. So I'm giving it at a very throwaway price because it's really my dream that every child should go through this. And it's a throwaway price of 2750 for the entire set of 8 virtual group sessions on Zoom with chats, with access to Udemy videos and resources. So again, reiterating, it's this particular session on exactly as you saw it on Zoom with a lot of interactions between the students, homework in between, chats, access to Speakology videos, as well as access to Keynote resources, which is my PDFs or the PowerPoint, which is at 2750. So I encourage one and all to go ahead and sign up. You can sign up through InstaMojo or you can do it through GPay. You can also sign up through Paytm. So it's a throwaway price for 2750, and it's accessible, which in a very yeah. So what's available in the particular videos is 18 videos of the entire speaking skills from starting from fear, moving on to introduction, body, conclusion, moving on to how to create empathy, impact, body language, and it's all videos done by me along with sessions on a movie format in terms of the PowerPoint. So that's the Udemy section, which I'll be giving access to through my Google Drive, giving all the participants access, which in itself retails at around 10K on the internet. Apart from that, I'll also be doing live sessions, 8 sessions, because most of the time now children are at home. So I'll be doing those sessions 1 hour twice a week for 4 weeks. 1 hour twice a week for 4 weeks. And I'm starting this program day after, which is April the 10th, Friday. And I invite, each of you to connect back to me. I'm going to leave my number here. Feel free to write in and You can send me a SMS or WhatsApp, or even connect me through the Facebook. The program begins on April 10th, and it's exactly what you heard. 8 virtual group sessions along with chats in between, along with access to all the videos and resources. So this is the time where even I want to give it back to the society, giving it at a price which is easy to accept, and in these uncertain times, which we can easily understand and go ahead. So with that, I'm actually going to open up for Q&A.